up, everybody, and welcome to the Gooner, a channel dedicated to all things Arsenal Football Club, who, as we all know, are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at yesterday's game between Tottenham and Manchester City and what it means for our title challenge this season, as well as discussing other factors which I think are the reason that this is going to be the year that we win the Premier League. That's right, I'm sticking my neck on the line. Before we get cracking, if you could just look down, see that there is a little subscribe icon, give that a click, and then that way I can update you every single day on the news and views from our beloved football club. And if you like this video at the end, then don't forget to click the like button. And if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear your thoughts. So, we found ourselves yet again in a position to be cheering on Tottenham. Only 2.5 weeks ago, I found myself hoping that they would get a result and being thrilled in a very unusual way to see them go 2-0 up, only for them to be typically Spursy and throw it all away. And yesterday's game, certainly, most people were not expecting them to get the result that they did. Although, I will point out that I had said in my video yesterday that I could see this coming. And the reason for that is, as I said yesterday, I just don't feel that the Man City players who've won 4 out of the 5 Premier Leagues of the last 5 years are really as hungry as they need to be. They are a team that knows exactly what it takes to win a title, and they would have known that they could put real pressure on our very young squad who have no experience of being in the top whatsoever. And they would have known that getting a result would have put the pressure right back on us into the run-in and reduced the gap to a really kind of squeaky bum time level. However, they just didn't show up. And there were some factors. One of those factors was, I think, Pep Guardiola's decision to drop Kevin De Bruyne and play 2 up front, which is an unusual move for a team that didn't even have a striker last year. And it seemed like a weird time to do it. Particularly as I have felt for a while now and still do that Kevin De Bruyne is one of the most exciting midfielders in world football, if not the most exciting midfielder in world football. Odegaard's catching him up. But dropping Kevin De Bruyne, I think, is just a symptom of a bigger problem at Manchester City. And I will say this. When they brought in Erling Haaland, of course, which team would not be improved by this goal-scoring machine? And let's not forget, he's already scored more goals in the league season this year than all of the last 4 Golden Boot winners have in an entire season. So it's a remarkable performance. And yes, he has a terrible record against the quote-unquote top 6 sides, but he's still a phenomenal talent. But have they had to change their style too much to accommodate him? That's the common argument. And I think there is some truth in it. But far more importantly for me, I think, is that with Kevin De Bruyne, however much I love him as a footballer, he does come with a fragile ego. He does have an inferiority complex, and he's clearly a player who needs an arm around the shoulder and very much enjoyed being the golden boy of the Manchester City outfit. I don't think he's reacted all that well to having to play second fiddle to everybody talking about Erling Haaland. And I think Pep has noticed this, and that's one of the reasons he dropped him. So when you think of that Manchester City dressing room, I don't see how they could be as hungry to win the title, having won it as often as they have. And I wouldn't blame them for being entirely focused at the moment on the Champions League. But I think it's just that they are feeling the loss of players in that squad like Zinchenko, who all Arsenal fans must have been truly impressed by his desire and the kind of way that he rallies those around him. Jesus, who's already proven to be one of the most popular players at Arsenal. Sterling, who, I think is a magical figure when he's on his game. I haven't seen a good performance from him in a Chelsea shirt yet, but certainly the dressing room will have noted these players going, and it feels to me like there is a little bit of a lack of chemistry in that Man City team. They are, without question, our closest rivals in this title hunt. Now, I want to take a quick look at if it's not going to be them and today's financial irregularities, which I'm not really going to talk about because I'm not qualified to, and I don't see how it's going to affect this season. But there is a bit of a grey cloud up there at the moment. And as our closest rivals, they don't look as capable of putting the kind of run together they need to. I still think they might beat us home and away, which puts pressure on us. But then, it's just going to close the gap a little bit and not fully. So looking around it, Newcastle, hugely disappointing performance by them in a draw at home to West Ham. And I think that just highlights the fact that they maybe don't have the goals up front to put them in a title race. Chelsea, 600 million plus spent in the January transfer window, and I watched them play against Fulham, and up until I watched us play Everton, it was probably the most boring game I've seen all season. Easily the most boring game I've seen all season, and I totally forgot I was watching Modric at one point because it just did nothing. Well, most of them did nothing. But you have to say that is a team that's being put together, a Galactico squad that's being assembled to win everything, and they probably will start to do that. But I think they've left it a little bit late this season, and they still have to gel that team together. So I'm going to rule Chelsea out, which I think is fair enough. I'm ruling Newcastle out, as I said, because they're not scoring goals. Liverpool, if we were disappointing against Everton, what do you say about a Liverpool team that got turned over by Wolves 3-0? Jurgen Klopp must be tearing his hair out at the moment, and there's going to have to be some rebuilding. Not the full team rebuild that everybody's going on about, but there is going to have to be some rebuilding in the Liverpool side. So I'm ruling them out. That leaves Manchester United. Now, I'm not saying that Man United couldn't win it from here. I do think they could, and I think Erik ten Hag, who has been an amazing manager since his time at Ajax, really is the right man for the Man United job, and at last somebody who seems to have enough about them to really address some of the deeper lying issues at Manchester. But I think he's carrying a squad with a few people in there that he would rather not have in there. Harry Maguire, I think his time at Man United to come to an end, but there's also players in there, and notably, without going through all of the players, I think Anthony, for me, is another one of those players who really just shouldn't be at Man United. He flatters to deceive. He loves all the tricks and what have you, but it's a little bit like when Ronaldo first went to Man United and the other players had to take him under their wing and say, look, the purpose of all of this football is to get the ball to the strikers or to score goals. So if your tricks and flair aren't doing that, then... And apart from anything, they have a similar problem to Chelsea. They have brought some players in that they're not really sure how to fit into the squad, and it hasn't gelled quite yet. It's not impossible that Man United could go on a bit of a run. But really, this season isn't just about the fact that there are a lot of weak teams out there or teams are in a weakened state. It is also about the fact that Arteta's process has taken us from a team which doesn't have the work rate to win a title to one where they really pull for each other. So, with the fact that we have Martinelli, Saka on the wings, and I think they're two of the best wingers in world football. Odegaard, who is an absolute sensation and a sort of, as I said, a little bit like a Kevin De Bruyne, who, I rate very highly. Imperious, creative, and with an eye for a pass. We have Emil Smith-Rowe to back him up as well. I don't think Vieira is quite there yet, but in the long term, he's going to be a faithful servant to the club, I think. And Partey and Xhaka, who are real engines in our midfield and usually so good at, nullifying opposition attacks, as well as a very settled back five. Although I have seen a lot of clamour today for Ben White to lose his place. Personally, I think that's a little bit premature. Everyone's allowed an off day. So I think, along with the fact that we are capable of going on long runs, when we lost to Everton last year, we went on a 5-game winning streak. I don't fear Man City as much as I expected to at this point in the season, so I'm not even sure that we can't get 3 or maybe 4 points against them when they come to us and we go to them in the second half of the season. So I really do think, and look, for all of you people who hate me for doing this, I've been an Arsenal fan for 41 years. I've done all the negative, oh, we're going to choke, it's not going to happen. I've decided to manifest what I want to see happen. And what I want to see is us lifting that trophy, the Premier League title, which would be an epic day and one that I am going to look forward to until it's impossible. I think it's going to happen, so I'm saying hashtag it's time to believe. Get behind the team, because one of the reasons I think, not just the fantastic work Arteta's done in building a squad together into a sort of family unit, but he's also reached out to the fans. You know, he's made the Emirates a fortress by engaging with the fans, bringing Arsene Wenger to a match, having the players, the old Arsenal legends come and really share some of that history that makes us such a fantastic force in world football. It's time to believe. I believe we're going to do it. And I think that Man City are going to have a few more wobbles. But I really hope that they do exceptionally well in the Champions League, not least because I think, you know, Pep and his team definitely deserve to win it and they've come so close. But also because it takes the focus off the league even more. Like I said, it's time to believe. If you disagree with me, let's hear about it in the comments. If you're not an Arsenal fan and you're watching this, well, thank you. But frankly, you know, of course you don't think we're going to do it. People really find it easy to have a go at Arsenal. They're always looking to dig at us. And I think that's one of the reasons we can come together and be a really tight squad and prove a lot of people wrong this year. Just like we did in '98 when Alex Ferguson said that he wanted to see if we could put a run together. We have put a run together this season already. I think we can continue to do it again. And I would say 35 to 40 points from the remaining games is very achievable. So let's play our part. Let's get behind the team. Let's really push for this title this season and bring on Brentford. Really looking forward to it. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch all this video, and I look forward to your comments and views and your likes and helping us to grow this channel by subscribing. Lots of love.